Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has canvassed increased investments in the agricultural sector to address terrorism in Nigeria and other countries. According to him, the move would end terrorism and conflicts that have claimed many lives and property in Africa. Zulum spoke on Wednesday in Ibadan during a panel session on public-private and development partnership for agri-food transformation at the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, Ibadan, OYO State. The event was part of a 3-day working visit of the President of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, to Nigeria. The visit was to explore innovative agricultural practices that could strengthen strategic partnerships between the two countries. With Sierra Leone's history of conflicts, President Bio is eager to adopt agricultural strategies that have proven effective in conflict-affected regions. Besides adopting the agricultural strategies, Bio stated, "We are keen and ready to learn from Borno State's agricultural initiatives," noting that the strategy had demonstrated a remarkable resilience despite the 15-year Boko Haram insurgency in the state. Speaking alongside Governors Sheyi Makinde of Oyo and Caleb Mosfwang of Plateau State, Zulum shared insights into Borno's agricultural transformation. Highlighting the investments in solar-powered irrigation, large-scale farming, and public-private partnerships, he stated, "Our strategic investments in the agricultural sector have yielded remarkable results to boost employment and food security." Mr. Libari, I would love to start with you. Zulum canvassing robust investments in agriculture to end terrorism and conflict. What's your opinion on this, being a public affairs analyst?
Okay, number one is that you will understand Zulum is a scholar.
Okay.
And for him to speak, it must come from the angle of not just deductive or inductive aspect of knowledge. This thing. He has been able to carry out an in-depth research about it, and maybe his findings has been proven that it could. So I will not fault him. I'm not going to fault his assertions or his postulations. Another thing is that he is the governor of one of the most crisis and conflict-prone states in Nigeria. One state that has been at the rough edge of the sword of insurgency and insecurity, and he has sailed through the storm of that insecurity. I think he's one of the governors that I respect well. When I mean respect in Nigeria, not minding the heat and the problem that is there in Borno State, how he tackles, handles, and navigates his way through them, and making sure that his name is written in the archive of the men that are doing well in Nigeria. Those at some point they support and some of the things with currencies makes us to like, show me a friend, I'll tell you you have by the way. So let's come back. I know if we invest in agriculture, it has the potency of curbing unemployment,
conflict and terrorism.
Looking at terrorism is externally funded. The funding of terrorism is not from Nigeria. It's not just Nigerian. Though our business counterparts, our politicians, some of them are involved. Yes. Why? Because one of the head of state told us that whatever program that has stayed beyond 48 hours has a political undertone.
Okay.
Yeah. Has political undertone. So that's why I'm using that word. Because if someone who has been head of state could use that word, it means that it's true. They know what they've seen before saying it. And also the terrorism, Boko Haram, herdsmen and whatsoever, unknown gunmen in the north is also from recent revelations on what has come out. Revelation is not spiritual.
Okay.
From recent things that has been revealed, it's also resources. They are doing to control the resources. Few persons are doing it so that they could mine the resources, get the resources for their personal interest.
Are you talking about agriculture or terrorism?
No, I'm coming back terrorism. I'm not on agriculture now.
Okay.
So now using agriculture to curb it, that's what I'm trying to see. Will it make the people that are funding terrorism to withdraw? One. Now, the people who has benefited the sweetness of terrorism, those who are involved, carrying these young ladies, raping them, enjoying this thing without anybody harming them? Is it possible that just agriculture will make them to come out of it? Now, this now calls for, I talked about peace education. So beyond agriculture, there is need to take this campaign of peace education to the nooks and crannies of the north.
I will hold your thought. I will hold your thoughts there. I'll get back to you. As an educator and counselor, he just said peace education. Don't you think we should also focus this energy into educating the masses instead of just investing in agriculture as a panacea to ending conflict?
Okay, just like he said about peace education, I think before venturing into agriculture, peace education should be the key thing first. So if you educate the masses, that means you're trying to draw their mind from terrorism, trying to empower or engage them into having unity amongst themselves. So if you do that first, that would help, rather than venturing into agriculture just like that. Agriculture won't just work, because not everybody will be patient enough to invest time and resources into agriculture. So you have to engage their mind, tell them about peace, give them peace talks, and then enlighten them. We need to harmonize first before going to agriculture.
Okay. On peace education, he didn't specify the stakeholders. If he was referring to the stakeholders or he was referring to the masses. So is it a two-way thing, or it should just be on, like you said, terrorism is funded externally? But let's leave that part. Let's go down to this agriculture as a panacea to conflict.
Agriculture as a panacea to, we have mathematical way of solving conflicts. That's where we are now going to the statistics aspect of it.
Okay.
Now, I do more works on conflicts. Currently, I'm running a program, and my research is also on conflicts.
Okay.
So, but I've not come across agriculture as a point of militating against conflict. I would like to dive into it if I can have materials or have a listing about it. But when you talk about agriculture, you're talking about economic self-employment and IGP, IGRO, revenue. I'm getting it now. So, because if you are investing in agriculture, the state government is looking at a way to boom, and that's why they will now bring in youth. Now, if you do it like private empowerment to the youth, now I'm going to get the first thing. And once you are introduced to terrorism, the benefit of terrorism takes you over.
I'm looking at the.
And from the south, if you see a guy who was involved in artisan refinery, which we call bunkering, it's difficult for you to pull them out.
Yes.
Do you know why? Because of the money that is entering their hands. Are you getting it now? And not just once you are into it, there are other things that surrounds. So for you to pull these people out, it goes beyond just calling them come and work. How much are you going to pay them? Do you know what it is that some of these people carries gun from the bush, enter into the town, and they now negotiate that for you to be released, you pay us you've heard the money they are calling now. 500 million,
10 million,
20. How much are you going to pay to match up with that? In fact, some community they are demanding you will give us 100 Okadas. You will give us. So when you match this thing now, beyond agriculture, yes, I don't know other the steps they have taken, but beyond agriculture should be when you have integrated them into the system, you now bring out agriculture for them not to be idle.
But I'm looking at the fact that, like you said, Zulum is a governor, one governor whose state has faced numerous episodes of crisis. So for him to highlight agriculture among other factors, don't you think, like he said, robust investments, and they have, like he mentioned, some of the achievements they made in the Borno State?
Were there no investment when Boko Haram started?
No, he's talking about just.
Were there no agricultural activities going on in Borno State when Boko Haram started?
There was, but this is about.
Sorry. So what makes you think that only agriculture could militate, curb, and bring an end to conflict? It couldn't. Beyond, see, let's see. One thing with us is that in Nigeria is that once we just see something is good, we run after it. We should go for the right thing first. When I was on my undergraduate days, I did a paper on contemporary issues in Nigeria. What was the paper I wrote about Niger Delta amnesty? And what did I write? I wrote that for you to sustain Niger Delta amnesty, you must involve in adult education and peace education.
Okay.
Adult education is non-formal education that qualifies you, the training you have, the teaching you have, the knowledge you have that builds your mind. You know, we have two types of age. We have the quantitative age and the qualitative age.
Okay.
So that education that brings about your qualitative age, not quantitative age. That education that makes you to stand firm. According to UNESCO of definition of adult education, they talk about you being responsibility.
Okay.
That education that makes you to be responsible in the society. That education that makes me, as I am here now, if I'm a governor, I know that if I am stealing, like what the president of Senegal did recently, said he doesn't want to see his picture in anywhere. Don't put the picture, put your family pictures in your offices. Put your family pictures in your bank, in your enterprise, so that when you want to do wrong thing, you will see them and know that whatever you are doing is affecting them, not his picture.
Interesting.
So that education that makes me to realize this, that was why the man, Paulo Freire of Brazil, brought about the concept of conscientization. That men are naive, men need to grow to magic consciousness and then go to the point of being critical in their consciousness. When they are critical in consciousness, then they will be able to stand against the menace of the society. When people have not gotten this conscience training, they've not been trained in their mind. You want to push them into agriculture. What if anything happen on agriculture field? Because once it's economic process, you must count also of the losses that are involved. So that is why I'm stressing that for you, for instance now, some Boko Haram members, the people they said I don't know, you just brought them in, you want to integrate them into the military. Repentance. What made you feel they have fully repented? Don't you know that in conflict management we have what is called in conflict management we have beyond, it's not spy, there is something we call pretense. It's the way they put it in, like if I want to instigate conflict here and I know it's the enemy, okay, like me, I used to call it worm theory in my political career. I have a theory that I developed, I call the worm or maggot theory in politics. Okay. That was what I used in my undergraduate days.
Your theory, what theory is that?
I call it maggot theory.
What does it state?
I can't state it here. It's pertinent. So now, what happened is that, don't you know, these people can sense some of their boys. Oh, since this happened, come in here. They appear as if they are part of you.
As an inside man.
An inside man. But they are the people. But it's better that the people's mindset is reorientated. Change them. Let them have a circumcised mindset. Let there be this purification. Separate them from who they were, bring them into who they ought to be, and then push them into the agricultural phase of it.
But you're not undervaluing. I'll come to you. You're not underplaying the role of skill.
No. See, if you want to bring a man out of the streets, skill is important. I get him. Now, an idle man is the devil's worship.
Exactly, I was to come to that.
Are you getting it?
Because after educating someone and then there's nothing to engage the person can use that education in which he has gotten in the wrong manner.
Beyond what Bible says, let me say this, let me digress a little, I'm coming back. I read one of the documentary and Socrates said something. He said the greatest question that had been posed to him was given by his students. Do you know what the student asked him?
No.
He said, is it right because the gods accept it? Or the gods accept it because it's right? No, we believe that the gods, they are powerful. So, is it that the gods accept it? Is it that the gods accept it, that is why it's right? Or it is right because it is right even before the gods accept it?
Well, I think William Shakespeare answered that question when he said nothing is good or bad, we make it so.
No. Socrates, he said he went to the mountain and stayed. He came back and said the gods accept it because it's right. That was where the philosophy of morality, moral, starts from. That moral precedes religion, precedes human being, precedes anything. What is right precedes anything you are doing, precedes general concession. precede general agreement. So now on what our dear governor is saying now, let me come back now. What is right, which has to do with orientating these people, changing their mindsets, trying to know why. You cannot change somebody without knowing why the person did what the person did.
Okay.
And beyond just mere words, because me, if I want to get something from you, I can twist my words. There should be an in-depth investigation. I call it diagnostic principle. To understand the conflict, you should not use diagnostic principle to understand why are these people going into this beyond just words. Because there are some things they will conceal. They will hold some truth. But when you diagnose it, you'll be able to know. Just like you take someone to the lab, X-ray will show you what is wrong with the part of the body. So you use diagnostic principle and you will be able to get what they don't want to say, the unspoken words, you will get it. So beyond just pushing them into agriculture, in a fragile environment, in a fragile state, they should go into in-depth education, educating the mind of these people. Agriculture will boom, agriculture will help, but education, to me,
okay.
I cannot fault what a professor is, an authority in the field, but I am giving my suggestion that education, not merely going to school, peace education through symposium, through workshop, and this thing is better. So that is what I am suggesting, Mr. Governor.
All right. Thank you so much for your. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this before we move to our next story.
I want to talk about skill.
Okay.
Now, apart from agriculture, perhaps before you go into agriculture, if you give them something to do, a handwork, a skill, individually, that would also be booming their source of revenue.
Okay.
So apart from agriculture, there should also be skill after the peace talk, though. After the peace talk. So.
All right, thank you so much.